All right, we're back with Sarah Sanders. All right, Sarah, I said we had to settle a little bit of controversy before the break, and now we're back with you. I want to settle in and show you what this is. Let me show you on my Wikipedia page something. It says that I'm listed as the 28th White House press secretary. And if you go to Sarah Sanders' website, Wikipedia page, it lists you as the 29th press secretary for the White House, okay? Pretty clear there. But if you actually go to the press secretary page of Wikipedia and look at its complete list of press secretaries, it says I'm 30 and you're 31st. Now, the numbers clearly don't add up. This is fake news. Are you? Which one are you?
I honestly
29 or 31?
I'm going to have to do some more research, but I think I'm 31. But now I'm concerned about all the fake news that's out there. You know, Wikipedia also has my hometown wrong, and I've tried to change it, and it's been there for years.
It's
and
Texarkana. I know it from the book.
I grew up in Texarkana. I was born in Little Rock. I've never lived in Hope, Arkansas, but it's still on my Wikipedia page. My parents are from there, but not me. So more fake news for you. I don't know what to say.
All right. You are the first working mom to ever hold the job of White House press secretary. And in the book, you're very open about being a mom and having young kids. You've got 2 boys and a girl. You talk about your son George being in your father's campaign ads, and we've seen them at press briefings before. Was this decision to be more public with your family something that you and your husband Brian arrived at?
You know, it was one of those things that was difficult. At the beginning, we sort of tried to shield our kids away, and then it became harder and harder to do that. And at the same time, I wanted my kids to understand why we were involved in the administration, why I had gone to work for the president. I wanted them to feel confident for themselves, particularly as they get older, to stand up for what they believe in, be proud of the work that their parents do, and be proud of who they are and what they believe in. So ultimately, we decided to engage them and bring them with us so they could see firsthand the reason that we were making that sacrifice as a family.
You know, when I look back on some of my press conferences, I think I look like an angry leprechaun. In chapter 4, you say that I have a hot Irish temper. Do you ever look back on any of your press conferences and say, you know, I wish I hadn't said that, or I've got a few regrets about how I responded to that person?
There's certainly a couple moments that I think I could have lived without. But, you know, one of the things that I learned in making some of those mistakes is to never make them again. And I am glad in some ways that I went through that process. I learned a lot from the mistakes I made, and, you know, I think as best as I could, tried to never repeat them again. There's certainly some things I saw, ooh, I shouldn't have worn that. I could have done this different too. But for the most part, I'm proud of the work I did, but certainly there's probably a moment or two that I would change if I could.
Yeah, well, you're definitely not. You don't have the Irish temper, so that's good. You've always been the calm, cool, collected one. One of the biggest questions I get, and so I want to pose it to you, is what it was like to be parodied on Saturday Night Live. What did you think the first time you saw yourself?
I didn't love the character that they chose to play me, but and I hope it's okay that I'm sharing this. You brought it up, so I feel like I can lean in, and it's certainly no secret that a woman played you. But I'll never forget, you called me that morning right after that Sunday morning that I had first been parodied, and you said, "So, how are you? How does it feel?" And I was like, "Well, I could have used a different character." And you said, "Well, when at least they used somebody from your own gender." And I was like, okay, you win. You know, there's, I guess, some part of it that's maybe imitation is the best form of flattery. So I guess there's a little bit of that. But at the same time, I thought that the Trump administration, there were moments that could have been really funny, and instead of being funny, they were mostly mean. And I could have appreciated good humor.
Yeah.
And I think if they had done a little bit more of that, it might have been a bit more enjoyable for those of us that they chose to portray on their show.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to me that there were a lot of folks who took joy in making things difficult. You know, you had a bunch of experiences. I did as well, going out in public and facing people. What was it like for you when they attacked you as a person or your character?
I certainly have no problem defending my beliefs, defending my political ideology. And I think that's fully expected when you take a very public role in politics. However, the part that was really difficult and certainly a lot more challenging was when they attacked my personal appearance, my hair, my makeup, my clothes, my fitness to be a mother. That's when it was very difficult. And, you wonder how much more of this can I take? I was thankful that, frankly, I did have a very strong faith, very devoted Christian faith, because without that, without knowing who I was before I ever stepped foot in that room, I think it would have been a lot harder to get through some of those very difficult days. And knowing I had a family and support system that was going to love me, whether I was the White House press secretary or just regular old Sarah, gave me the confidence to keep going and keep fighting and push back against some of the nastiness that was out there.
Yeah, one of the things that's interesting, obviously in the book you talk about moving from Arkansas, actually as a child moving from Texarkana, when your father became governor, to Little Rock, and then obviously you and your family packing up everything and moving to Northern Virginia. But what I think is interesting is, do you now have people that were friends of yours in Washington or reporters that you no longer speak to because of the relationship that existed in the White House?
Unfortunately, I do. And some of them aren't even friends from Washington. Some of them are friends from growing up. My husband has had a number of his friends that, just because of my association and my work in the Trump White House, they no longer wanted to continue that friendship. My own personal story, I had friends that worked in the Obama administration. I didn't vote for Obama. I didn't support a lot of his policies, but I was proud and happy for them for having that success. And I wish that liberals could feel the same way about conservatives. But I've learned too many times that if you don't agree with them, then they don't really want that much to do with you. They're all for tolerance as long as it matches what their thinking is.
Exactly. Sarah, congratulations on the book. It's absolutely great to see you. I wish you all the best. And as a reminder, Sarah's new book, Speaking for Myself, Faith, Freedom, and the Fight of Our Lives Inside the Trump White House. It's out now. Order it on Amazon or anywhere you buy your books. Up next, we're going to talk about how mail-in ballots could affect the outcome of the election in the key state of Florida.